Just want to speak about something else now. Greg Sheridan this week raised the importance here on the show of Australia being prepared. Are we prepared for Chinese aggression? Now, obviously, seeing as we don't yet have our own submarines, we will be relying heavily in any future underwater combat for sure on the US Navy. So the question, Richard, I'm going to ask you is how prepared do you think the US Navy are? And to help you answer that, I'm going to play you part of a training video released by the US Navy this week.
Connie, and I use he, him pronouns.
Hi, and I'm Kanchi, and I use she, her pronouns.
And we're here to talk about pronouns.
What is a pronoun? A pronoun is how we identify ourselves apart from our name, and it's also how people refer to us in conversations.
Using the right pronouns is a really simple way to affirm someone's identity. It is a signal of acceptance and respect.
If it's a signal of acceptance and respect, how do we go about creating a safe space for everybody?
That's a good question. A really good way to do that is to use inclusive language. Instead of saying something like, hey guys, you can say, hey everyone.
Now, Richard, seriously, that is a US Navy training video released this week. How much trouble are we in?
See, that's tragic. And I mean, the fact that an institution like the US Navy could come up with that staggers me. One would have thought that if you were looking for a bit of sanity in the world, the US Navy might be a place you'd find it. But that is just pure, plain insanity, and it's madness. It's the kind of madness, unfortunately, that people seem to find trendy. It's a nice thing to make you feel warm. Just makes me feel very angry.
Keith, you mentioned before veterans and how I know that in your electorate you're very close and have many veterans. What seriously do they tell you about this sort of woke agenda within the military, certainly in the US, and unfortunately, is it here as well?
Oh, look, we've seen some of this creeping in, unfortunately, to the Australian Defence Force. And the veterans that I talk to, they're angry. They know that the primary job of Australia's Defence Force is to protect our country. And I've got to tell you, I don't care what they might want to identify themselves as. Their DNA won't lie. But they're trying to do a very specific and very difficult job defending this nation, and in a lot of circumstances that is in overseas countries. And they don't want to have that fight in Australia. They want to make sure that doesn't arrive on our shores. And I've got to tell you, I don't think gender-neutral toilets or banning particular tattoos will make any difference to their skill set. And I think every Australian, well, apart from Adam Bant and the Greens, are incredibly proud of our Defence Force, of our veterans, and of the work that they do for our nation, keeping us safe. And I don't think that should change. I don't think it should be reinforced through schools, through our education system, and simply getting out and talking to veterans and thanking them for their service.
But Richard, doesn't it go further than this? Don't we, where is the political leadership coming from, that says to Duntroon or wherever it is, you've got to stop this. We've got to focus on what is important. Why aren't we hearing that?
I think our society's just tried to turn away from all of this and pretend it's not happening because it's easier not to deal with it. It's easier to turn your back. But if you let this sort of thing go, God knows where we'll finish. So as far as I'm concerned, government's got to stand up here, intervene and just say no more.